excited to be diving into this conversation because this is really key when people are doing personal development. And when it comes to doing the work on yourself, doing the work on your mindset. So we're going to be chatting through why change doesn't always happen when you do personal development. Okay, so why change doesn't always happen when you do personal development. So I'm live on Instagram. Hello. I'm live on Facebook at the same time. So if I'm not looking in your direction, please don't think I'm being rude. That is the reason why. As always, I'm Rebecca Lockwood, your Neurolinguistic programming trainer, hypnosis trainer, breakthrough coach trainer, and there are a couple of the modalities I train as well. So I'm super excited to dive into this, why change doesn't always happen when you do personal development. So there is a lot of people who do personal development and do a lot of work on themselves, whether you call it doing personal development or whether you call it working on your mindset, or whether you call it something else, learning, growing, evolving, awakening. There is a lot of people in the world, and we are seeing a really amazing shift in the world right now, where a lot of people are recognizing that it is really helpful to do this work. It's really helpful to work on your mindset. It's really helpful to do the personal development work. It's really helpful to awaken yourself, your soul, and your body. So this could be from having a morning routine, right? From having a morning routine to reading, to learning, to growing, to doing courses, and these kinds of things. So it's really amazing to see that there is this shift in the world going on right now where people are recognizing that this work is really helpful and this work is really powerful. And I see a lot of people say, and I say myself, that this kind of stuff should be taught in schools, like working on your mindset, understanding your mind, how your mind works, and doing personal development. Because really, it all starts when we're kids, right? We start to grow our beliefs and create our values as we are growing up, possibly even before then, right? So potentially we may even start to create our beliefs and our values whilst we're growing in the womb, yeah? Okay, so what happens though when we do this personal development work, when we do the mindset work, when we start to open ourselves up to, to this new path, and we want to learn and grow and evolve, but it doesn't work? Right? And we don't really see people saying this, and we don't really see people talking about this. We see people talking about personal development and about mindset work and about why we need to do it and how we can do it. But what we don't really see is people talking about, well, what happens if it doesn't work, right? Because it naturally cannot work, right? Sometimes it might not work. And when I say this, I'm not necessarily meaning like it won't work full stop ever. But sometimes we may find ourselves in a situation where we're doing the work, we're working on our mindset, we're working on our personal development, we're working on ourselves, but we're not seeing a result, right? And why does that happen? So I'm going to talk to you today about why change doesn't always happen when we do personal development. Again, whether you want to call it personal development, mindset work, spiritually awakening, leading, learning and growing, whatever you want to call it. What we're going to talk about is why we may not see a result, and why we may not see a change, or not see the change that we want to see when we do this work. Okay, so why does this happen? So there's a number of reasons that we're going to cover today, but also like this list isn't exhaustive. So I'm going to talk through 3 things that may be showing up for you in your life, or if you're working with clients in a coaching setting doing personal development and mindset work, why the change might not happen, or why you may not see a result. Okay, so the first thing is you're consuming information but not taking any action, right? You're consuming information but not taking any action. Okay, so a lot of people talk about how many books they read and how many courses they do and how they're on this journey of learning and growing and evolving. And a lot of people consume a lot of information, but then they do nothing with the information, right? So it's one thing learning the information and growing as you learn the information, but it's another thing actually implementing the information and seeing a result, right? So if you're finding yourself in this situation where you're spending a lot of time and resources and effort putting in the work and learning, but you're not really growing and seeing a result from it, it could be because you're just not taking the action that you need to take in order to get a result. So you're reading the book perhaps, but you've not actually done anything with the information that you've had, okay? So the first thing is you're consuming information, but then you're not taking any action on that information. The second thing could be that the problem is that your subconscious mind has split and created what we call in neurolinguistic programming a part, right? Now, what this means is our subconscious mind is whole, right? And our subconscious mind always wants to remain whole and as a one. Now, what can happen is our subconscious mind can split and create separate parts or a separate part. And what can happen is you become incongruent and unaligned, and you can end up acting in different ways when you are operating from these different parts of the subconscious mind. Now, what you can find when this happens is that you may be learning and growing and doing the work and taking the action, but then when you fall into the other part, it can be self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, lots of other behaviors that are unwanted can show up and sabotage all of the results that you have got existing, all of the existing results that you have already got. So for example, this may be, well, sometimes I go on social media and I compare myself to other people, but sometimes I go on social media and I don't compare myself to other people. And you may act in a certain way when you are in these different parts. And this is an exact example of something that I worked with someone on this morning, right? So it's not necessarily a full-time belief, right? It's a part-time belief. So the subconscious mind has split into parts, and they're at kind of a bit of a loggerhead in conflict, right? They're in conflict. And what you need to do, and we teach this, I teach this within our neurolinguistic programming training, what we need to do is we need to merge these parts into a whole so that your unconscious mind can become whole again. And when you act, then you act in accordance with a positive and getting the outcomes that you want to see, okay? So the second thing was the problem could be that your subconscious mind may have split and created a part. So the third thing could be, if you're not, if you're doing the work, if you're working on your mindset, if you're working on personal development and you're working on yourself, but you're not seeing the results that you want to see, the third thing could be that you have a deep-rooted limiting belief, right? And the difference between a part and a limiting belief is that a part will be part-time, okay? So sometimes you feel like it and sometimes you don't. The difference between a part and a limiting belief is that a limiting belief is all of the time. So if I had said, okay, all of the time, or if my student that I worked with this morning on this said this morning, okay, all of the time when I go on social media, I compare myself to others, all of the time, then it would have been a full-time belief and it would have been a limiting belief, okay? So number 3, you have deep-rooted limiting beliefs. And what happens when we've got limiting beliefs is limiting beliefs limit us, right, from being able to do things that we want. They limit us from what we want in life. They limit us from being what we want, being who we want, having what we want, acting as we want. And limiting beliefs can begin to be formed from a very young age. And I said at the beginning, perhaps even from the time when we were in the womb growing, right? Now, when we have limiting beliefs, we act in accordance with these beliefs. So if there was a limiting belief, for example, I'm not good enough, right? I'm not good enough. Then you are going to act in accordance with that limiting belief. And even if you attempt to take action to help yourself with your mindset in personal development, to help align yourself in life and feel better and more fulfilled, what will happen is you may get to a certain point where you start getting a result, but then what can happen is you then act in accordance with this limiting belief and you sabotage your efforts of that success that you had started to see. And this can be self-sabotage, imposter syndrome, negative self-talk, causing arguments with others or even with yourself in your mind to yourself, judging yourself negatively, having very ridiculously high, unachievable expectations of yourself, and these kinds of things. Okay, so there were the three things that may be kind of playing out for you in your life if you are feeling like change, if you're not seeing the change when you're doing personal development. Okay, so just to recap, we were chatting through why change doesn't always happen when you do personal development. And this means personal development, mindset work, aligning yourself, coaching, these kinds of things. So the first thing was you are consuming information but not taking any action. The second thing was that your subconscious mind may have split and created a part, and you're acting from the different parts. And number three, you have a deep-rooted limiting belief that's causing you to self-sabotage or create imposter syndrome or negative self-talk. So within our Neurolinguistic programming training and our breakthrough coaching training, we teach you how to work with all of these things and so much more. So much more. So we teach you how to release limiting beliefs for yourself and for your clients. We teach you how to merge these parts so they're not in conflict anymore and create a wholeness at the subconscious level. And we also teach you how to take action and motivate yourself to taking that action to support yourself to see the change you want to see when you're doing personal development, mindset work, or any other way that you want to describe this. Okay, so that's it from me today. I'm Rebecca Lockwood, as always, your Neurolinguistic programming trainer, hypnosis trainer, and breakthrough coach trainer. And if you've got any questions about this, do pop me a message, reach out, pop me a comment, let me know. We have got some epic bonuses available on our Neurolinguistic programming and breakthrough coaching training this week. I am so excited about it. If you're on Facebook with me, you can find them in the description. And if you're on Instagram with me, you can find them via the link in my profile. The Neurolinguistic Programming and Breakthrough Coaching Training fully certifies you and accredits you through the Complementary Medical Association, the Association for Integrative Psychology, and through the American Board of NLP, which is the largest board of NLP in the world. So you'll become certified and accredited as a breakthrough coach and a neurolinguistic programming practitioner. And there are some amazing bonuses on this week, so do go check them out. We also have the free Start Your Coaching Business training running this week and next week as well. So you can sign up for that for free. Again, if you're on Facebook, it's on the link in the description. And if you're on Instagram, it's on the link via my profile. So I hope that you got tons of value from this. If you've got any questions or you need anything at all from me, please do reach out and ask. Have an amazing day, and I'll catch up with you again soon.